He spent 6 long months pushing through hell. Every morning at 5 a.m., the physical training broke bodies and tested wills. Legal exams culled half the class with questions that left even the sharpest recruits staring at blank pages. Scenario drills simulated chaos, active threats, split-second decisions where one wrong call meant expulsion, no second chances. He endured it all, quiet and respectful, never drawing extra attention. He made it through. Graduation day arrived under a clear Florida sky. His mother sat in the front row, tears streaming down her face as she watched her son stand tall. His father, a man of few words who rarely showed emotion, stepped forward, gripped his hand firmly, and held on longer than either expected. The sheriff himself pinned the badge to his chest. Someone placed a real service weapon in his hands and handed over the keys to a patrol car. For the first time, it felt real. He posted a single photo online that evening, crisp blue uniform, American flag in the background, a proud smile on his young face. The caption was simple, finally ready to protect and serve. The likes poured in 2,000 within hours. Old high school friends who hadn't spoken to him in years chimed in, "Proud of you, man, my boy's a cop now, stay safe out there, brother." His family shared it with quiet pride. For one brief night, everything he had worked for seemed worth it. 24 hours later, he's in a federal holding cell, steel handcuffs biting into his wrists. The badge that had just been pinned to his chest was gone, confiscated. His gun sat sealed in an evidence bag somewhere down the hall. All because of messages on Snapchat that were supposed to disappear. This wasn't a scripted drama. It happened in a quiet corner of Florida, at a sheriff's office that had trusted the background checks, the training, and the young man who seemed so unremarkable. The predator hadn't raised red flags. He passed every screening with flying colors. Classmates and instructors described him as quiet, focused, respectful. His own family had no idea. No one saw it coming until a single moment shattered the illusion. On his very first day, assigned to be on call at the local high school, a student recognized him. She had known him not from any official capacity, but from private chats on Snapchat. When she saw the new deputy in uniform, the discomfort she had buried came rushing back. She spoke up. She told school staff and deputies what he had done, messaging underage girls 16 and 17-year-olds, pressuring them for nude photos and explicit videos, sending his own images in return. Sometimes asking them to take that off while knowing exactly how old they were. Investigators moved fast. A search warrant for his phone revealed the conversations, 8 threads with young females, several confirmed minors. Images and videos were there, the kind that turned a promising career into a federal case overnight. He was terminated within hours. The same agency that had sworn him in now arrested him. The sheriff held a press conference, his voice heavy with disappointment and anger, announcing the firing and the charges while publicly releasing the mugshot of the man who had worn the uniform for less than a day. If you're shocked by how quickly a badge can hide darkness, and you want more true stories like this, stories that expose what really happens behind the uniform, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. We go deep into the cases most channels won't touch, every single week. Your support keeps these stories coming. The mother and the recipe story that circulates in some tellings. In the documented facts, the trigger was that brave student on campus who recognized the new deputy and found the courage to speak. One glance at him in uniform was enough to blow the secret wide open. He eventually took a plea. The most serious charges were reduced. In the end, he was sentenced to 8 months in county jail, 3 years of sex offender probation, and a permanent felony conviction that ended any hope of law enforcement work. The badge he had worn so briefly became a symbol not of service, but of how easily trust can be betrayed. What lingers is the quiet horror of it, how someone could train beside future protectors, smile for family photos, post that proud caption, and all the while hide a double life in disappearing messages. Background checks catch criminal records, not private digital shadows. Training reveals performance under pressure, not the content of late-night chats. One young man's first day on the job became his last day of freedom. The uniform that was meant to represent protection had, for a fleeting moment, become something else entirely. And somewhere in a small American town, parents still look at their daughters' phones with a new kind of unease, wondering what else might be hiding behind a screen that promises messages will vanish forever. To understand how this happened, You have to understand who Officer M appeared to be. Let's call him that Officer M. His real name isn't important. What matters is that everyone who knew him thought he was the future of law enforcement. He was 23 years old when he applied to the police academy. Clean record. No arrests. Not even a speeding ticket. He had a degree in criminal justice from a local college, nothing fancy, but respectable. His professors remembered him as quiet but focused. Never the loudest in the room. Never the class clown. He just did the work. Showed up early. Stayed late. Asked good questions. The academy instructors noticed him immediately. Not because he was the strongest or the fastest, but because he was consistent. Every day, same attitude. Same effort. Same respectful tone. One instructor later told investigators, "If you asked me to pick the recruit least likely to commit a crime, I would have picked him." That's not an exaggeration. That's how convincing he was. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. During the academy, Officer M volunteered at a local youth center. He said he wanted to build trust with young people early, that it would make him a better community police officer. The academy loved it. Gave him extra credit. Put his photo on their social media. Looking back, investigators believe that youth center was part of his strategy. Proximity. Access. Trust. But at the time, no red flags. None. His classmates voted him most likely to succeed. His training officer said he had natural instincts for de-escalation and empathy. His family threw a graduation party with a cake shaped like a police badge. On graduation day, he posted the photo I mentioned earlier. Full uniform. Big smile. American flag behind him. That post got over 2,000 likes. His mother reposted it. His father shared it on Facebook with the caption, "My son. My hero." But here's what nobody knew. In his sock drawer, not his patrol bag, not his locker, but his sock drawer at home, Officer M kept a second phone. A cheap Android burner. No contract. Bought with cash at a Walmart 45 minutes from his apartment. That phone had only one app installed. Snapchat. And on that Snapchat account, under the fake name Chris, age 19, Officer M had been building something else. Not a career. Not a reputation. A hunting ground. He spent months curating it. He added girls from nearby high schools, pretending to be a friendly 19-year-old guy who just liked to chat. He started slow funny memes, casual questions about school, music, doors. Then the tone shifted. Compliments turned flirty. Flirty turned explicit. He sent his own photos first, shirtless, then more. He asked them to do the same. "Take that off for me," he'd type. "Show me what you're wearing right now." When they hesitated, he'd reassure them, "It disappears in seconds. No one will ever know." He knew exactly what he was doing. He used disappearing messages like a weapon, confident they would vanish forever. But they didn't vanish from memory. And they didn't vanish from the federal subpoena that would come later. If this kind of calculated deception behind a badge makes your stomach turn, and you want more raw, unfiltered true crime stories that expose what really hides in plain sight, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. We uncover the cases most channels are afraid to touch every single week. Your support keeps these stories coming. No one in his life suspected a thing. Not his proud parents. Not his academy brothers. Not even the chief who pinned that badge on his chest with a firm handshake. Officer M had built two completely separate worlds. One in the light, disciplined, respectful, ready to protect and serve. The other in the shadows, patient, calculated, and hunting. And for 6 long months, both worlds ran perfectly in parallel, until that first day on the job when everything collided. Let me explain how Snapchat works for those who don't use it. When you send a message or a photo on Snapchat, it disappears after the recipient views it unless someone takes a screenshot. No permanent record. No chat history. For most teenagers, that's the appeal. You can be stupid or silly or flirty without leaving evidence. For Officer M, that was also the appeal. He created his fake account 3 months before graduation. Username, ChrisChill19. Profile photo, a picture of random guy from Google Images, not himself. Bio, just a normal guy. Ask me anything. Then he started adding people. He didn't use search. He used Snapchat's quick add feature, which suggests users based on mutual friends and location. And here's the terrifying part: because he was in the police academy, his location data placed him near high schools, youth centers, and parks during training exercises. Snapchat's algorithm did the rest. Within 2 weeks, he had over 50 friends. Most were underage girls. He didn't message all of them. He was patient. He watched their public stories first. Looked for signs of vulnerability: sad posts, late-night rants, photos from inside bedrooms. Then he picked his targets. The first girl we know about was 14. Let's call her E. Her Snapchat story showed her at a school dance, then at home doing homework, then a selfie with the caption, "No one gets me." Officer M. As Chris sent a simple message, "Hey, I saw your story. You seem cool. Want to talk?" She replied within minutes. The early messages were boring. "How was school? What music do you like? You have good taste in hoodies." Normal stuff. Nothing illegal. Nothing reportable. That was his strategy. Build trust slowly. Never rush. Never push too hard. Make her feel safe. After 2 weeks of daily messages, he escalated. He asked for a photo, not nude, just a selfie. She sent one. He replied, "You're really pretty. Don't let anyone tell you different." She started trusting him. Another week passed. Then he sent a photo of himself, not his real face, but a photo of a young man in a police cadet uniform. The name tag was blurred, but the uniform was real. It was his uniform. He wrote, "I'm going to be a cop. You can trust me. I protect people." That message was the turning point. Because now, Chris wasn't just a random online friend. He was someone with authority. Someone with a badge, even if not yet official. Someone who, in a 14-year-old's mind, was safe. She started sending what he asked for. First partially clothed. Then fully. And Officer M saved every single image on his main phone, not the burner. He later told investigators, "I wanted to keep them. Like trophies. Those trophies would send him to prison." Here's where the story turns from disturbing to unbelievable. One night, around 10 p.m., a mother in a small Midwestern town couldn't find her favorite recipe. She'd made it 4 years, a chicken and rice casserole, but she'd lost the index card. So she grabbed her 14-year-old daughter's phone to Google it. Her daughter's phone was lying on the kitchen counter. Screen unlocked. Snapchat still open. The mother didn't snoop. At least, not at first. She opened the browser and searched for the recipe. But when she tried to close the Snapchat app, she saw a message notification from a username she didn't recognize, ChrisChill19. The message preview read, "Send me another one. I'll give you $20. Her heart stopped. She opened the conversation. And she scrolled. And scrolled. And kept scrolling. What she found was every parent's worst nightmare. Weeks of messages. Dozens of photos, some her daughter had sent, some Chris had sent. And one image that made her physically sick, a photo of a young man in a police cadet uniform. The face was partially visible. The uniform was unmistakable. She didn't wake up her husband. She didn't call her daughter downstairs. She didn't even screenshot anything because she was afraid of tipping off whoever this was. Instead, she did something most parents wouldn't think of. She called the FBI. Not the local police. Not the sheriff's department. The FBI. Why? Because she watched a news segment 6 months earlier about online predators and interstate commerce. If messages cross state lines and Snapchat servers are located in multiple states, it becomes a federal crime. The FBI has jurisdiction. Local police often don't. That news segment saved dozens of future victims. The FBI agent who took her call later said, "Most parents call 911. Then we get involved days later, after evidence is deleted. This mother called us first. It was the smartest move I've ever seen." Within 24 hours, the FBI had a federal warrant for Snapchat's server logs. And here's what most people don't know: Snapchat says messages disappear. But they keep metadata for 30 days. Who messaged whom? When? From what IP address? And if law enforcement moves fast enough, they can recover and open messages before they auto-delete. The FBI moved fast. They traced ChrisChill19 to an IP address registered to a local apartment complex. Then to a specific unit. Then to a name. That name matched a current recruit at the regional police academy. That recruit was scheduled to graduate in 10 days. The FBI now had a decision to make. Arrest him now or wait. They chose to wait. The FBI's decision to wait wasn't made lightly. There were long meetings. Heated arguments. Supervisors worried about the risk. If they waited and Officer M hurt someone else, the FBI would be blamed. If they arrested him too early, they might miss other victims or fail to get a conviction because of insufficient evidence. Here's what tipped the scale. The FBI requested a second warrant, this time for Officer M's iCloud account and his location history. What they found made their decision clear. Officer M had been messaging at least 3 other Snapchat usernames, all appearing to belong to minors. One conversation went back 7 months before he even applied to the police academy. That meant this wasn't a recent mistake. This was a pattern. Location history showed he had driven past 2 different middle schools multiple times during evening hours when no police training was scheduled. He had no legitimate reason to be there. And most damning, he had searched on his main phone. How long does Snapchat keep deleted messages? He knew what he was doing was wrong. He was trying to cover his tracks. He just wasn't good enough. The FBI then made a controversial decision. They contacted the police department's chief, but not to warn the academy. To partner with them. The chief was horrified. He later testified that he nearly vomited when the FBI agent showed him the screenshots. One of his recruits, someone he had personally congratulated, was a predator wearing a badge in training. But the chief agreed to the FBI's plan. Let Officer M graduate. Let him get sworn in. Let him work his first full shift. Why take that risk? Because a federal arrest on active duty accomplishes 3 things. First, it allows FBI agents to search his patrol car, his locker, and his duty phone without a separate warrant, since department property has different legal standards. Second, it sends a message to every other officer in the department: no one is above the law. And third, most importantly, it ensures Officer M cannot claim he was just a civilian when the crimes happened. He would be arrested as a sworn law enforcement officer. That makes the conviction almost certain and the sentence much longer. Officer M graduated. His mother cried. His father shook the chief's hand. He pinned on his badge, holstered his gun, and drove a patrol car for 8 hours, completely unaware that 3 FBI agents were watching his every move from an unmarked van parked across the street from the station. At 11 p.m., his first shift ended. He parked the patrol car, walked toward his personal truck. The flashlights came on. The parking lot was empty except for Officer M's truck and 2 FBI vehicles with their lights off. He later told investigators he noticed the van earlier but assumed it was a fellow officer taking a break. That assumption saved the FBI time. He didn't run. He didn't reach for his weapon. He just walked. When the flashlights hit his face, he stopped. Officer M, put your hands behind your back. You are under federal arrest. His body camera still clipped to his vest recorded everything. You can hear him exhale. A long, slow breath. Then, is this about the Snapchat stuff? The FBI agent later said that was the moment he knew they had him. An innocent person would ask, what? Why? What did I do? Officer M went straight to Snapchat. He didn't resist. He turned around, put his hands behind his back, and let the handcuffs click into place. Then he asked, can you not do this in front of the station? The other officers are watching. They were. Several had gathered by the station window. One rookie, a classmate of Officer M, started crying. A veteran sergeant threw his coffee cup against the wall. The FBI searched his truck, glove compartment, the burner phone, driver's side door pocket, a second charger, back seat, a duffel bag with a change of clothes, and disturbingly a notebook. The notebook had handwritten usernames. 7 of them, each with a check mark next to it. The FBI searched his main phone, still in his pocket, and there, in a locked folder labeled taxes, were 43 saved images. All from Snapchat. All from underage girls. Officer M was charged that night with 3 federal counts: production of child sexual abuse material, coercion of a minor, and using interstate communications to commit a crime. He was held without bail. The judge's order cited risk of flight and danger to the community. His mother found out from a news alert on her phone at 6 a.m. the next morning. She called her husband screaming. The police department issued a press release 3 hours later. No name yet, just a recently sworn officer, but social media found his identity within a day. His training officer gave a brief statement: "I trained that kid. I ate lunch with him. And I had no idea. None of us did." Officer M sat in a federal holding cell for 3 weeks before his first court appearance. He didn't ask for a lawyer immediately. He asked for his phone, then remembered it was evidence. That's when he started crying. The case never went to trial. Officer M's lawyers advised him to take a plea deal immediately. The evidence was overwhelming: saved photos, server logs, location data, his own words on body camera. He pleaded guilty to 2 of the 3 counts. In exchange, prosecutors dropped the 3rd. The sentencing hearing was packed. His mother sat in the front row, sobbing. His father stared at the floor. 3 of his academy classmates sat in the back, not in support, but because they said they needed closure. The judge spoke for 20 minutes before announcing the sentence. She said, "You took an oath to protect. Then you used that oath to manipulate children. There is no greater betrayal of a badge." Officer M was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. No parole. He will be 35 years old when he is released. His mother tried to speak to him after the hearing. He refused to look at her. The police department held a second press conference. The chief looked 10 years older. He announced 3 new policies: random digital device inspections for all officers, mandatory cybercrime training, and a complete ban on personal phones during patrol shifts. He also said something that made national news: one bad cop doesn't define this department. But one bad cop should force every department in America to ask hard questions. The girl, the 14-year-old whose mother found the messages, is now in therapy. Her mother gave one anonymous interview to a local news station. She said, "I almost didn't check her phone that night. I thought she was a good kid. I thought she knew better. Now I check it every single day. And I tell every parent I know to do the same." As for the notebook with 7 usernames, the FBI investigated every single one. 2 were fake accounts Officer M created himself. 4 were minors who never responded to his messages. But 1 was a 13-year-old girl in a different state. She never sent photos. But she had been talking to Chris for 3 weeks. She told investigators, "He said he was a cop. I thought that meant he was safe." She is also in therapy. Officer M is now inmate number 48722-054 at a federal prison in Pennsylvania. His law enforcement career lasted exactly 1 shift. His first day on the job was his last. Let me leave you with 3 things. First, disappearing messages don't really disappear. Snapchat, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram. They all keep logs. They all have servers. And if a federal warrant arrives, those logs are handed over. No app on earth can outrun a federal subpoena. Officer M thought he was invisible. He wasn't. Second, power attracts predators. A badge, a uniform, a title, these things don't make someone trustworthy. Actions do. Officer M passed every background check, every psych evaluation, every interview. And still, he was a predator. That means we cannot assume someone is safe just because an institution says so. Trust has to be earned every single day. And third, if you are a parent, check your child's phone. Not because you don't trust your child. Because you don't trust the millions of strangers pretending to be someone else. The mother in this story saved dozens of future victims because she looked at a screen for 30 seconds. That's all it takes. Officer M thought he was untouchable. He thought the uniform would protect him. He thought disappearing messages would hide his crimes. He was wrong. The FBI doesn't care about uniforms. Federal judges don't care about badges. And prison cells don't care how many likes your graduation photo got. He spent 6 months becoming a cop. 24 hours later, he became inmate 48722-054. No badge hides everything. No app erases everything. And no predator outruns the FBI forever. If you're watching this and you have secrets on your phone, consider this your warning. Someone is watching. Someone is keeping logs. And one day, someone will look at the right screen at the right time. This has been Unspoken Crime Murders. I'm your narrator. If you found this story valuable, hit subscribe. Share this video with a parent you know. And check your child's phone tonight. Not because you're paranoid. Because you're paying attention. See you in the next one.